Hi, Prosperity. Good evening. Sorry, can you hear me?
Hi, good evening. Okay, Jeremiah.
How's the day been? It's quite difficult to reschedule.
Yeah, I'm doing very cool. Good to be here.
We are thrilled to have you despite the issue available. It's all good. It's impact and such a privilege to learn from someone like you. So I'll just the meeting is to start by 8:30, and then this is 8:35. Um, okay. Would have just 2 minutes or so just to get everyone else in the house. Although we are basically streaming on YouTube, but we just want to have quite a few number in the house so we can move on. And if you'd like, I would like that we turn off a video. I mean, I know you're online. I've seen what you do and all that, but some of our audience may not have seen you and all that would appreciate if you can turn on the video.
Yeah, so that's pretty not. It's not really comfortable for me at the moment. Um,
Okay.
so I might not be able to do that for now,
Yeah.
because go later on in the meeting, I might have to probably rush to turn it off or so. But let me still
Oh
see
no,
anyway.
no, that's fine. Whichever way it pleases you, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we'll just have 2 minutes and then we'll kick off. Okay, yeah, there's someone on YouTube already, so we are 8 minutes out of time. So I'll just basically introduce myself first before I get into what we have for you today. My name is Jeremiah Abuyeji, and I'm, I'm a designer and a creative director. I work I work in marketing and product as well, depending on whichever way, yeah, where I find myself. Going to you, Prosperity, would like that to introduce yourself. But before that, I'll just read your bio to the house for um, so that our audience can have a grasp of who is coming to talk to us today. So Prosperity Olorunfemi is passionate about growing business and people, and also amplifying great solutions through his superpower. His superpower is marketing, by the way. He's a teenage African entrepreneur, passionate about transforming Africa by providing solutions to Africa's progress. He's currently building RuMoney, a digital marketing talent market space, and I sell AirPods, a mobile AirPod e-commerce business. With over 4 years experience working in various projects in digital marketing, is driven by providing expected results through social media marketing and advertising. He currently consults for and works with different startups in Africa. As you know, Prosperity likes to share his knowledge and his journey and his work through public speaking. Just so we all know, is the co-founder of TedX Jibowu. He organizes TEDx events through which he spreads Africa's best and unique ideas to the global world. And one thing I'd like to add is our billionaire friend. That's a bit as to prosperity, but prosperity, is there anything that you want to share with the audience today that's probably not in your bio that you just want them to know? Prosperity, can you hear me? Um, you might have lost prosperity. Just let's give us a minute. We'll try to get him back on the call. Apologies to everyone that's watching. We are going to try hard our host, but I think he has network issue. We'll try adding him back.
Hi, Jeremiah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm glad when you're back. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Okay, so I couldn't really understand what happened. So I just suddenly sort of lost my interest.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Glad you are back. Yeah. So, I was asking if you have any other thing to add to the bio that I read. Of course, I added that you are a billionaire friend, and I read out your bio to the audience. I don't know if you have any other thing that you don't really know that you want to introduce, that you want to share with the audience.
Okay, yeah. So though I wasn't quite here through the introduction because it was just at the start. That's when I lost my network. So, but pretty much I say I'm more of just another young person trying to experience life, learn more about life, and find meaning, and as well as contribute to my world. So, and I really do love useful and helpful conversations. And I hope that we'll be having one together this evening. Yep. So
Looking forward to it.
that's it.
All right, all right. We'll just go straight into um, what we have session. Um, we'd just like to ask, can you share your personal journey on volunteering and how it has shaped and developed you in your career path and in your personal life as well? I think I've been following you for quite a while, and I personally have been a huge open source and volunteering has been a what's it called a huge um benefit to my career and my personal development as well. Do you want to share anything as to your personal journey, how volunteering has helped you in open source, in contributions, or volunteering as a whole? I would like to hear how it has helped you in your personal journey and your career as well.
Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to say before I forget, it's nice to meet you, Jeremiah.
Same
And
here.
I'm pretty happy to have another young pal who's into marketing as well, one way or the other. So so when it comes to volunteering, it started pretty much early in my journey. It was more or less like from my mom, and it was just a very interesting day. Um, she joined the class. I joined the class with her. She learned there. So after this class, they have to make in. And anytime you learn anything around it, you have to start using it to make money as soon as possible. So as soon as we were there and we learned that, the first thing that came to mind with gaining that skill was, how do I get my first client? How do I get the first person who's going to pay me for this service I now know how to offer? So, and what could come to me right at that point was volunteering. What if I made one design for someone who had the network, who had everything, and she introduced me to one person? So, and that was, I would say, that was like my first official volunteering experience. And I went overboard for this one. I designed a logo, designed flyers, designed everything. Design. Just designed so much, so many things. Even it was awkward. It wasn't like very excellent design, but back then it made so much sense to me. So I created everything and just bombarded that woman. By the time the woman saw it, she was so blown away. She was so happy. I'm pretty sure she's likely still using that logo. She was so happy, she was so excited, and it just made so much sense. And from there, she introduced me to so many.
Network. I think we get that prosperity, and it's one. It's for me as well. I would say my first experience in volunteering and how it helped me. My first job ever was actually from someone from the Google Business Group. Yeah, but there was a time there was Google Business Group community was very active in Nigeria, and as at that time, I joined the social media team at the one for Yaba. Then we had visiting me around. We had a couple of other people back in Nigeria. So then, and I think we lost Prosperity Events Network. But as Prosperity has shared, from joining his mother in that call, he was able to also okay, Prosperity, you're back. Yeah, I was just sharing how I also did get my first job from volunteering as well. There was a time in Nigeria we had this thing called Google Business Group. Yeah, but I don't know if it's that strong anymore. That's where I got my first product design job. Volunteering from that event, and then after I built connections, built network. I did not go there for the sole purpose of maybe getting it. I wanted to volunteer, I wanted to learn, and from there I I got into this career part of design, build networks, build connections, and all that. Thank you so much for that answer. Also, I would like to ask, do you believe I have a reservation for this one, but would like to hear your thoughts as to do you believe self-discovery precedes volunteering, or do you think it's the other way around? So, do you think you have to understand fully well what you are doing before you volunteer, or you just have to take it head on and just just get into something and volunteer to something before you discover yourself? Or do you even think volunteering helps you to discover yourself in that sense? So what's your take on this prosperity? Sorry, prosperity, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm recap.
Did you ask me something?
Yes, yes, yes. I guess the network is quite ping yesterday.
Mind you.
Yeah.
Network is pretty interesting, oh, I tell you.
So the question was, do you believe self-discovery precedes volunteering, or do you think the other way around? Do you think people should fully understand their purpose before they go out there, or do you think it's the other way around? Or do you even think there's a path to they can even discover themselves in volunteering? So that's the question.
Okay. So I want to take a wide bet with putting my video. I know I'm having network issues already. So if I put on my video now, it's likely going to be a bit worse. So, but let me see, take the bet. So I'm having serious, difficult bouts of electricity here and there. They bring it and they take it.
I get that.
Yep. Let me try to move around to somewhere that would contrast and won't show me like a total white man. All right. So, um, volunteering, I think the best way I can put it is that um, I'll say self discovery first. If I was asked to make a bet, I'll say self discovery first before volunteering, because it's like a, I say sometimes you can put, if you put, don't let me use the analogy. Let me just put it normally. Without self-discovery, you might be put in the middle of all the opportunities you can get with volunteering and misuse everything, right? But
Yeah.
if you really know yourself and you know exactly what you are doing, that's when you'll be able to maximize volunteering, right?
Yeah.
If you go into volunteering without self-discovery, you'll likely be asking for, what am I standing to gain? You'll be asking, like, you'll be looking for quick gratification. How can I
Yeah.
get quick results out of this stuff? But if you discovered yourself to be, how can I get as much as I can from whatever is going on here? What can I contribute? What results can I pull off? It's just I feel like sales discovery is very pretty much essential and should come first. I have so many experiences around this, and I have witnessed so many people's experience around this, and I can just say for a fact that self discovery should come first, then volunteering becomes a very, very beautiful experience.
And thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And to speak to just add to that, it's I've also, as I mentioned, open source is a core part of my career, contributing, volunteering, and all that is a core part of my career. And I've seen in most cases that most people, when they don't really see that there's value in volunteering, and that's because they don't even understand what they want to get on with their life. They've not understand their soul purpose or discover themselves. So that's why you are maybe forcing them to do what they have volunteered to do, or
Exactly.
they are not seeing that it is a chance. The fact that you're volunteering, nobody's paying you a salary, so nobody can necessarily hold you to anything.
Accounting.
You have that choice to do the best of the best, and you also have that choice to not do it at all. But it's not going to tell on that organization. It's telling on yourself, because it's that same you, what you have learned that you can apply to your career, to like your career and for your life. And I hope people get this. But for me, what in fact I put even almost more extra effort in stuff that I volunteer to than in quotes my work. Not like I don't put effort in my work, but like I put like more what's it called, extra effort like that. And it's because um, I tend to drill ladder where I'm volunteering. I can research as much as I want. I can explore. I can go through bound. Nobody's holding me, so I'm free to like get the most of that. So thank you for that prosperity. Thank you so much for that. Our next question here is: what practical advice would you offer to high school students and who are considering volunteering as a means of personal or skill development? So people that are just coming out of secondary school, most times they are doing jam. Jam is jamming like 12 subjects. Or they want to, what's it called? They want to do medicine, and their daddy is saying they should do agric engineering
Oh.
or something like that. So what's your advice to them? What's your advice? Practical advice.
I like the jam is jamming them part. Sounds so nice. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's cool. So high school is when you are leaving high school is a very, very essential and important point of your life. I
Mm,
would say the year after high school for me changed everything for me, and I'm still on that break. That's why I'm still in the jam being set, people. So um pretty much that's 1 year. Like, okay, immediately you leave your secondary school, it's pretty much advised, or I would say it's pretty much advisable, right, for you to take a gap year. Spend
mm,
1 year discovering yourself. Spend 1 year learning new skills. Spend 1 year volunteering. Spend 1 year trying things out. In fact, that your 1 year can end up becoming 6 years, like it became for me, right? But you have to just take that time out to discover a lot about yourself, because um we once upon a time, I'll say that is changing a lot these days. Once upon a time, the world was a singular career model. So
um,
you go to
uh,
school, you get a certificate, and that certificate is the only career path you can tread,
and
right?
what
Exactly. So it was back then, actually it was so super essential that you go to the university and you choose the right thing to study, and you end up with the right results. If not, you are just everything is wasted, right?
mm,
But
sure.
in this time and age we live in, there's a tiny change, right? Regardless of what you study, the world is just wild, right? You can move from career to career. You can take up different things. You can learn whatever role, whatever career path, whatever career you want to learn, like within months, as long as you are ready to just be intentional about it and give your heart to it. So, and that's why it's essential that you have some key skills that you won't find in a university. And these skills are not, they are not mathematics, neither are they physics, neither even they just social interactions. They are very important skills, skills that are around communication, skills that are around time management, even people management. So many, just very very little skills. You need some time for you to be able to find yourself and be able to develop these skills. As long as you are trading the path of discovering these skills and developing these skills, you keep discovering yourself, finding yourself, becoming a better person. And then when it comes to that place of, and okay, it's also a very good time to expose yourself as well. Discover as much as possible about the world we are living in. Find where you are supposed to key into, know the next path for you, right? So, and as soon as you have that information, you can come from an informed place to make a decision and say, okay, this is what I want to spend the rest or maybe the next few years of my life doing. Then you can choose whatever the best part to study at in school. So, but that 1 year or that little time, if you choose to take it, that 1 year you take as a break to really find those answers, there's no better place to spend it.
I agree. I agree. Thank you so much for
There's no
that.
better place. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I mean, also I can relate to this as well because in my own case it was different. I wanted to study something and I had nothing to study. So and at that point it was I was feeling like it was a waste, but that was the I studied engineering in school. I studied agricultural engineering, but whatever I'm doing now is in no way related to agricultural engineering. And this is because the period where I had that break, I was able to take on some things, take on a few things. I saw that I had interest in this. I saw that I had interest in this, and I packed them. I was learning. I was like on the hike of learning. I was learning and learning and learning, and this is where we are, and we are still growing. But it was those moments that has helped me in this period. That's all what I'm doing, my career and everything is built on solely those moments. That's even my agricultural engineering is not speaking at this point. But yeah, I agree to that. I agree to that. My next question here is going to be for and is one question that will relate to my personal experience as well. For students in the university, what strategies would you suggest for them to balance volunteering and and the academic? Because we would not say that because of their you are volunteering, you are trying to grow, you are losing on your academics. I mean, while I was in school, um, as a second semester, I discovered that's when I discovered the business group Yaba, and I had to travel down from Ikorodu to Yaba to attend events, to attend the meetings and all those things like that. I had to go for I was going for conferences back to back, like, and I still had to maintain. In fact, not that I had to maintain just a normal academic result or something. I was trying to maintain my first class that I had built. So I know personally that it's not easy. But what strategies do you think people can put in place, maybe to time management or all that they can use to balance their academics and volunteering and participating and self-developing themselves? Sorry, you are muted. Okay.
Mind me, I was muted. So I was saying this is a very popular conversation, right? And it's one of the most asked questions. How do I balance my school with work? How do I balance my school with volunteering? How do I balance developing myself and this and that? And the truth is, when it comes to things like this, or when it comes to prioritizing time management, the only thing you need to overcome it is exposure. And I can tell you this because at different points, like I've experienced life in different modes and forms. I'll say currently, my most recent form of experiencing life is life as a student. I've not done anything academic for a while, but recently I'm preparing for an exam and I have to study. I have to, so, and it's making me ask questions like, how do I manage my time? How do I achieve this thing I'm trying to achieve? All of those things. The honest truth I have seen, which has applied across the different forms of life I have experienced, is the fact that all you need to overcome time management or balancing whatever you are balancing is simply exposure. The truth is that many of us, we think we are limited. The reason why it seems like a problem is because we think it is impossible. We think that it's just far away. It's something we cannot touch. It's something we cannot hold. But practically, if you can get to know one or two people who have already done this before, it makes sense to you. And then your mind doesn't react negatively or lets you think about the fact that this is impossible, this is not something that can be done. From what I have seen, like, ask 100 people this question, no matter the tip they want to, no matter what kind of ideas or tips they want to give you, you would end up discovering that everything is contextual. Some things they are telling you you cannot apply in your own environment. It's
Yeah.
possibly something that worked for them and would not work for you. But the only thing I've seen, I'll say for me, the only thing I've seen is that is simply exposure. Once I get to realize and find out that someone has done what I am doing, or someone has done what I want to do, and someone else is capable of achieving those results, facing in the same condition or even worse than I am, then I know it's not impossible, right? If someone can do it, why can't I do it? So it doesn't give me any issues or any reason for argument. All I just need to know is that someone has done it. Someone has even done better than that. So why am I trying to just deceive myself and say, oh, how can I balance do work? I know many people. In fact, I know many people. I've worked with people who all through their you were saying back in your university days, you did the same thing. Did you die? Right? Did it take anything off you? Did
No,
you
no,
end up destroyed? It worked
no.
out. I know some people that say, when I was in secondary school, I'm sorry, in the university, I went here, I went there, I went this, I went that, I was just running around. They still came out with good results, right? It worked out. So it's not impossible. It's just that mindset that, oh, it's complex. How will I manage my school work? People are doing it and nothing is happening. It's not even supposed to be a serious subject of conversation again. All we just need to know is that it is possible. It is not it's not a problem at all, Seth. All you just need to know is that it's possible. People are doing it, people are surviving, and people are even thriving, right? So it's just for you to now find how you can manage your own environment and do things right, make the right priorities, and get the best results you seek. So I think that's what I think from my end there.
Thank you so much for that, Prosperity. Thank you so much for that. And I would say, adding to what you have mentioned, since we all know it's possible, the next thing that we need to understand is it is discipline. You have to do it. No excuses. It is discipline. So, you have had right from a founder, a student, and the TEDx organizer that it's very possible. Discipline, placing your priorities right, and that's the most times when we try to find when we're trying to justify our actions and trying to find time management, this time management, that what we actually need is not time management, that it is discipline that we need. Because after setting your to-do list, so something is going on. Okay. Yeah, so you picked your phone, you set your to-do list, and then you leave that phone or you leave that app you're using to do the to-do list and you go to Instagram straight off. That's it's taking your time away and all that. Discipline, time management, understand that it's possible. Also, trying to prosperity has told us to look at people that have done the same thing, even in worse conditions. I've seen people that there's time I give it with my laptop back then, this, that. But I saw people that were using worse than what I was using, and they were producing excellent stuff. So thank you so much for that, Prosperity. Um, One question I have here is how can young individuals who have just graduated and are still searching for direction, how can they benefit from volunteering opportunities? I want you to link this to the tech community as well, aside from volunteering. Like that to link to the community as well. And what are the steps that they can take to find purpose, relevance, like purpose and relevance in their life? So I'm just finishing university, doing the course that I did not want to do. I'm just placing a scenario, doing the course that 100% I did not want to do, and I like content creation. How do you think volunteering can help me position and find relevance in the career space?
Okay, so I feel like for this demography you just said now, you don't have, if you belong here, you don't have any choice. There's just one way out for you, is volunteering. The reason why you are here at this time and you're just thinking about getting like volunteering or things like that now is because you've not done it earlier. And right now, if you are really sure you are going somewhere, you don't have any other choice. Like you don't have any other thing. Just the only way out, right, is volunteering. So I used to tell someone, I don't know, someone used to tell me that it's it's better you have something, right, and you don't need it than for you to need it and not have it. The interesting situation here now is that this is like the timing where you actually need it, but you've not had it yet. Because right now, everybody's thinking about how can I get a job, right? How can I get settled? How can I start living the life? How can I, all of those things. But the truth is that if you volunteered, like if you started this journey about 3 or 2 years ago, right now it should just be vibes. It should just be vibes. Like it should be smooth progress, no troubles. You should have gotten enough experience. Like that's what we used to say, that when you are applying for a job, they're asking for 5 6 years experience, and you are just a graduate. Right, you should have volunteered, right? You should have started volunteering like maybe on your first or second year, right? So when you graduate, you are carrying your 4 years experience and saying, okay, I'm ready to work. But you don't have that now and you just want to get started. Then I'll say, take it as your only way out, right? And hold it like that and treat it as such, right? So I used to say, if if you say you don't have a job, it simply means you are not a serious person, because there is nobody you would go to today and say, this is what you are doing, these are the problems you are facing, I can help you solve it, but don't pay me, just let me work for you. And they'll say, oh, sorry, I don't have space, right? Even if it's big company, it's just your mode of presentation, right? But
Definitely.
there's nobody you cannot even write to. There's no kind of company you cannot write to. And if the big companies are not coming forth, you can write to small companies and get to volunteer there, right? But there's no way, right, that you say you don't have a job and you don't have a job and you also cannot volunteer too. Then I don't know how to describe it, but there's something wrong somewhere.
I think we get it. We
So
get it.
the truth is that right now there is no other way out. Just look for how you can get started with volunteering. Look for people you can start volunteering with, and let your focus not be what they will pay you. Let your focus not be about them retaining you, not about what you make, but be on two things. Number one, how good you become, how more skilled, how competent you become, and number two, on the kind of results you would achieve during your time there. So you are not just there to play around or just vibes and you are not just there to be an unaccountable, like you are not even accountable, or they're just pushing you here and there. No, be driven by the results you get there and how competent you become. If you are able to even volunteer somewhere for 1 or 2 years and you come out with these two and you are holding them firm, you've made huge progress for yourself. And I'm telling you, volunteering sounds nice, but it's not easy. That was
Hmm.
one thing. The time when I was volunteering somewhere before it eventually became my 9 to 5. The time when I was volunteering somewhere and I was literally spending transport from, if you live in Lagos, from mainland to island, week to week. It was super crazy. I was working somewhere else remotely and using remote job to sponsor my volunteering lifestyle. It was not easy. It happened for a couple of months until everything just clicked, and it made much more sense. But that experience of going through that was not easy. But all that mattered to me throughout that experience was what I just wanted to gain, how competent I became, the kind of results I got. And really, I had those things. In fact, it was that same organization that eventually retained me and became my 9 to 5. So that's just the gist. If you know you are looking for a job or you are a recent graduate, don't even be distracted. Start volunteering as soon as possible. It may not pay off now, but there's no how. It definitely always pays off.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate. And to just kind of like add a bit to that from my few learnings as well. I figured that it is very easier to, as Prosperity has mentioned, it is very easier for you to get an internship in Google than to get an actual job in Google quotes. But let's not even put it that way. Come to Nigeria, it is very easy for you to volunteer in. I mentioned to you I volunteered in Google GM, Google Business Group Yaba events when it was still very much strong then. I did not I thought that, oh, to get into this place was going to be very hard, this and that, this. I just I saw it on the site and I just messaged the number. I wanted to volunteer this, and I got in. I got in. As I mentioned earlier too, that open source is a very vital what's it called instrument in my career as well, and I've gotten opportunities that I cannot mention, that is I cannot even disclose from open source. I've had to contribute to Bitcoin design as big as Bitcoin, as everybody sees Bitcoin, like as Bitcoin is. I've been able to volunteer, and in my portfolio is going to be there if I decide to add it, and I would add it. It's going to be there, and it's huge. I've just joined. I'm trying to join Ethereum designers as well to volunteer. There are other people that I know that are close, that I see them as superior. We know of Isaac Zara is a designer. Open source was a vital pivotal, like open source made a pivotal point in his career as well, and the career of many others like that. It is easier to make impact in volunteering. It's easier to see your impact. It's easier to see if you're really serious with what you want to do, and that you know that you're coming here to make impact. Is the floor is there, the chance is there. You just have to pick it. So for young graduates, for people that are looking for job, it's something that we have all passed through, and we are still going to volunteer. Someone like me, I'll still volunteer. As a matter of fact, I'm the media lead in this Purpose Conference community, but I'm also a volunteer. I've been volunteering for close to 5 years now, 4 years, I can't remember. Prosperity is organizing an event, TEDx. Are you getting paid? Oh,
I was almost 90% of free. Is most of them are actually on volunteering basis. So I'm not standing to gain anything. It's totally free.
it's totally free. I actually know your designer very up close. I know your designer very up close. So is I know Gbenga very, very well. Is These are people that are volunteering. TEDx is a huge thing, and it has caused impact. I'm very sure it has impacted people's life and all those things. You can imagine you are volunteering in something like that. You are adding to that purpose, you're adding to that vision. It's very easy to see your impact. It's very easy than you would see in your career. It's There are like 10 people that are fighting for that impact that you want to impact in that same office that you are, that they are even ready to overpower you and get the best of. But in volunteering, everybody is you are we are it is growth. I have a mantra that whatever I do, it is growth. And funny how I'm in growth marketing now, anyways. But the idea is whatever I'm doing, if I'm volunteering here, I should see the reason for good. And even to throw this as well, I don't volunteer. I mean, for starters, try all you can, try and see where you can impact and all that. But I've gotten to a point where now I even need to, I need to know the reason and see that the vision aligns with my vision, because that's how I would volunteer well. Because there's no point when you are volunteering and they're having to drag you for what you want to do. They're having to push you. They're having to. You should be gingered. You should be geared up for whatever. Of course, you are doing it for free already. You should not give yourself stress. You should not give yourself more stress of doing what you don't like or what you don't love. So yeah, thank you so much for that prosperity. I just have one more question. I is it one more question, but I'll just throw in a bit of question. I think we have 10 minutes. Starting TEDx, how was it like for you pulling people together, especially volunteers? Seeing the idea that this young boy trying to do this and all that. Is there something that you want to share that really helped your shaped starting TEDx Jibowu?
Okay, so for me, I'll say trying to organize the first edition of TEDx Jibowu changed my life, right? It changed everything about me. It changed why I do what I do. It changed what I do. It changed literally how I engaged and faced my life because it got me asking questions. I was a very ambitious, driven person who just wanted to, make a name, do crazy things and all of that. But at the point of trying to apply for a license, it was just an
Hmm.
application that needed to get the essence of who I really was. That was just that kind of application and just basic questions. And by the time I completed the application and submitted, I thought just that my smart, crazy way would get me those answers I wanted. Just submitting that, I got a rejection. The rejection I got, that was exactly where everything changed in my life because I started asking more questions. I started wanting to know more. What does life really mean? What am I doing? What I am doing for? And just sitting down took me to a place of even trying to look at my spirituality and trying to pursue God and understand what exactly does He want me here for.
The
The
purpose.
answers I got at that point changed everything. Like right from that point till today, my life has taken a 360 turn around, right? In fact,
Hmm.
even people that used to engage with me back then and now, you see, like everything just changed, right? And it's made me committed, it made me find a reason for living. It just made me see much more, right? So that's the first part, approaching that event. And although it seems like TEDx is a big name and all of that, but with the popularity and all of that that TEDx brings, it also brings the sacrifices, right? It burns my money, it takes my time, it gives me stress, so many things, like so many things around it. It's not a very, very smooth or fine and nice experience, but it's one that always pushes you to grow. It's one
Yeah,
that always pushes you
yeah,
to grow. It's
absolutely.
one that always pushes you to grow. So, but process of making it work is just an exceptional learning experience. Every year you'd always learn something new. We've done it twice and we're about to do the third one this year. But every single year is a learning experience. Every single year we just learn more. Every single year we just learn more. And one thing that I found most useful for me, right, is having people around you. Right. It was never an initiative that I woke up one morning on my own to do. Right from the start, it was me and someone, me and three people, me and four people, me and five people. Then just that little circle, we just have this firm circle of a few of us that our mission and where we are going to is really clear. So it makes it work again and again. And even when we face things, when we come across challenges, we just fall onto each other's arms and we come to do it again. Even when we argue, because this matter of volunteering is a very, very serious issue. This is an initiative we are all volunteering for. And this volunteering is volunteering that is taking not just our time or stress, it's taking our money too, right? So that kind of commitment, getting a group of people that will give the same commitment year after year for this kind of thing, it's not easy, right?
Uh,
So
um,
this kind of conversations would always give us headache every year, every single year. But it's just been a blessing for me that we found people that committed, right? And like you said earlier, I said when you want to volunteer, don't just volunteer, right? But volunteer in a way, volunteer on something that aligns with your vision, right? But before you can even volunteer on something that aligns with your vision, you need to even have a vision first, shey. So but volunteer with something that has your vision, that aligns with your vision, then it just makes much more sense. You'll be committed, you give your heart to it, even if nobody's paying you. You know, I am doing this thing for myself, I am doing this thing for where I am going to, and just it just drives you and it pushes you to go as far as possible. So I'll say that's more or less my experience with TEDx Jibowu. And what even excites me the most about it is while many people can see it as many things, what I see it is as a tool for transformation. That's what makes the most sense for me. It's just a tool for transformation. Every single year I keep asking myself questions. How many people can I reach? How many people can I help? Right? It doesn't at the beginning it didn't look like that, but I knew this is a platform through which I could reach millions of people. This is a platform through which I could send a message through the world. This is a platform, all of those things. So the fact that it's a tool of transformation for me every single year just pretty much excites me and now makes me commit my heart, whatever it will cost me, to give as much as possible as I can to it. So that's just the TEDx experience, and I can talk forever about it, but I'll say that that's more or less like it for now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it takes a determined, and let me put it this way, stubborn heart to like get something like that done. I've not done something as big, but I also lead a team, a volunteer team, not in different places, and I see how hard it is to even see, as you mentioned, to gather those people that have the same vision, because that's when you know when those people have the same vision, you will do less work, because everybody's taking it personally, like everybody's taking it like their business, because it's aligned with their vision and all that. And what you mentioned about how telegible helped you to even discover, um starting telegible helped you discover yourself, discover a couple of more things as to you personally. That's one thing that we also stand for in Purpose Conference. Purpose Conference, when I came into Purpose Conference, the reason why I batted it straight in that I would volunteer was because it was something that I would have done personally. The name would have been different, but it was something that I would have done. So why not just contribute to this cause as well, and let's just move it together. We I see young folks like me. Of course, I maybe God helped me. I saw some things very early, not even because of my parents, or not even because of maybe because of my environment. But I saw some things early, and looking back at people around my age, people that we grew together, some of them have missed it. So that's what I've taken upon myself. That how can we bring young people into light, into seeing? Because there's a scenario when you're in class, when you're in school, they're pushing. You can decide not to come to school. Nobody will hold you like that. You might tell on your exam. But when you are at work, you cannot just decide that you're not coming to work today. You have to be accountable. You cannot just, so seeing that there's a reason, there's a purpose, that there is something you have to live for. And seeing that thing very early is what we stand for in Purpose Conference. And I'm glad that we also have people like you, Prosperity, that is building up these young ones. We are all young people that we are building ourselves, and we are changing the future. Because when every of these old people are gone, when they are tired, when they will not be able to speak in places, when they will not be able to motivate these other people, you are the ones that will be available. We are the ones that will be available. And in essence, we are making the world a better place. Thank you so much, Prosperity. We'll just take questions for now. Let's see if we have any question. We are live on YouTube, so we'll just confirm if there are questions on YouTube. Do we have any questions? Does anybody have any questions for? I don't want to be the only one asking Prosperity questions. He's a billionaire, please. This time you have, use it wisely. and ask your questions. Okay, I've not gotten any questions. Not getting any questions. In the next 2 minutes, if we don't have questions, I think, and, and if there's a way we can communicate to, we can ask this question publicly to Prosperity. Try our best to. Okay, no questions so far. No questions so far. And, all right, but I have a question. Prosperity. I have a question. Um, so, um, when you are volunteering, right? You have a when you are volunteering is different. When you are volunteering as a leader, is different. As a leader, you have things that you are supposed to do to maintain, how do you call that thing? To maintain balance. Then as a volunteer, obviously you know why you are here. Everybody's volunteering to the cause. As a leader, you have a different role to even build these people that are volunteering, to make them see that they have potentials, to make them, to give them that free will of them growing. But then we have some set of people that they are not just serious. You are trying to push them, you want to push them, but you there's little to what you can do. And you still have to maintain that as a leader. But volunteering, you are doing this thing for free. How do you advise, and I know TEDx Jibowu has a lot of volunteers like that. There would have been times that has happened. So from your experience, what do you think, how do you think, because there's sometimes that you don't want to, there's sometimes that you just be very angry that you just want to close down all the whole volunteer group or something, and then you realize that ah, you want these people to learn, but they are not seeing it, but they are not. How do you advise that one goes about all this? Because we are building people to become leaders, whether we like it or not, so we can as well just share this knowledge. Over to you, Prosperity. Oh, sorry, you're mute, you're mute, you're mute, you're mute. Yeah.
Okay. So I say this is a pretty nice question. Honestly, I'll just go straight to the point. I feel like whenever you're working, especially as a team, either it's on volunteering basis or it's official, what is worth doing at all is worth doing well, right? So if you are going to be working with people, it's better for you to have two committed heads than to have 15 unavailable and not people that are not committed. No. You see, what's going to happen is that if there's even one, if there happens to be one or two or three that are committed, right? Those three would eventually get to be influenced by the remaining people that are not committed. Then all of them will become not committed. And even you as the leader will start getting influenced by people who are not committed, right? So I'll say there are two ways to approach this. And I'm not saying this is set in stone. I'm just saying primarily from what I've seen, right? Number one is to say, okay, these are really the people that are committed here, and these are the people I'm working with, without causing any displacement or causing any change to the people that are there already. Not removing them, not closing them down, not canceling them or anything, but simply saying these are the people. Always, I feel that that is even very essential. Always identify the people who are doing the work. If you want you see, because if you are just carried away with, oh, I have plenty numbers and everybody are just going to work, even if they're available or not, since they said they want to do it, I'm sorry, you waste your time and you will not be productive. You will not even achieve anything, and you are the one that would you come to the conclusion that this volunteering thing is not even effective, not knowing that you are the one that chose the wrong people, right? So identify the people that are committed and engage with them on another level, right? Engage with them in another way or engage with them directly. Or number two, since everybody is volunteering, that means nobody is forcefully committed. Any day, me and you, we can share our gari and I'll tell you bye bye and I'll say bye bye. Everybody will just go their way. So you can do consistent cleanup, right? This is just the honest truth. I'm not going to package it fine, fine. You can just say bye bye, thank you, we've done enough together. I see that you are not committed, and I feel like we can. And these are things you have to do pretty consistently. If not, you think you have people, but you don't have anybody. Like I run so many things with volunteering, and I've done it again, and again. Like I have overdone itself. If there's anything like that, for every single initiative I want to run, for any single idea, first thing is find volunteers who join me on it. And I've also volunteered in many other places and seen what the experiences is like, even leading other volunteers in different places. I've just seen it that if you think you just have people and you are like, okay, they are volunteers, they'll give their heart. Oh, maybe tomorrow they will repent, or maybe I should try to talk with them. Yeah, I'm sorry, they're just going to spend a long time going through that. But if you are able to consistently, right, identify people that are really working and hold those people, those are the ones you hold, and you're not carried away by the people that are not there, that's going to be the way out. Then I'll say another approach which just came up in my mind now, which I've also been considering a lot lately, is that I've discovered that when volunteering works well, it works because people are looking up to someone. I've discovered that when volunteering works well, there is something above that everybody is looking up to. And I've seen that in some situations. I've seen that around very, very well. When volunteering works perfectly, it means that somebody is saying A and everybody is believing that that A is A. Somebody is saying, we are going here, and everybody believes it's the right person that can lead us to this vision. Everybody's goals, everybody's whatever they want to achieve, they've seen it in that person and they are following. I've discovered that that's one of the reasons why those people, they'll just come. They are just committed one way or the other, even if normally they are unserious people or they've not even discovered themselves. They are just giving to that person. So, and I'm not saying induce this or try to form someone, try to form perfecto or form one kind of personality or something you are not, but you can build leadership, right? And the only way you build leadership is by being concerned about your followers. Be in truly be 100% interested in the people that are following you, and drive every kind of initiative that will really, really help them grow. Once they see that the focus, aside what you want to generally achieve, that the focus is also on their growth, they will be committed. They would give themselves to it because they know that you are not doing it for just what you want to achieve or for what you want to achieve as a team, but things that you are doing for them. Everybody will be committed and they will really, really give their hearts to it, right? If you know that they've not discovered themselves, you can hold consistent conversations with them. You can, try to personally reach out to them, become a likable personality. All of those things, really care about them, right? And not just because of what you want to achieve through them, but because of you are genuinely concerned, then it makes all the sense. They will be committed and they'll give themselves to it. So I'll say these are the things I'll consider, or these are the things I can, like, if I'm volunteering with someone and I see that and I'm leading or I'm driving something, I'm saying like this person not say, I can just block the person and remove the person from the group. I'm just kidding anyways. But I feel like there are just some things we have to do and we just have to really keep learning.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prosperity. There's so much value in that. Thank you so much. We have two questions, and that should be all for this session. We've taken so much. The first one says, "How can I work on building my finances so that money
Hmm.
spent on volunteer work will not affect my finances, like their own personal finance?" So, do you have a practical experience on this?
So I just want to ask something. Jeremiah, at different points where you've tried to volunteer, did they affect your finances?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So I just like I feel like this is what me I've seen. Or I feel like there is no way, right? There's no way. you want to volunteer and it will not affect your finances. I'm sorry, but that's just what I've seen, right? There are some points, there's actually an event I volunteered for sometime around last year. Like, it first started from 1 5 airtime that I had to buy to send message. From there, I had to spend this small money again. From there, I had to spend this small. So from here, I had to start spending transport. From there, just small. Then my money was going. My money was going, and they were not paying me. My money was so, but it didn't really matter, right? So the truth is that you have to be ready, right? Just take it as though you are paying for mentorship, right? Or you are paying for a very high value course that you not find somewhere else, and you're just saying, I just want to get
Exposure.
the lesson and I'm not going to pay the money, right? These are things that must go together. You would make sacrifices, right? But know that these sacrifices is not like it's unending, or should sure volunteering is supposed to be a lifestyle, a lifelong thing. But still, what you are doing now, it will yield. It's not like you are just going to do it and nothing will come out of it. It's just an initial sacrifice. Very soon, one day or the other, you will definitely get results from it, one way or the other. So that fact that you are volunteering, just be aware that it's going to cost you, right? It's going to expend you. You are going to put a lot of things into it, but definitely you are the same person that's going to yield the result. It's simply your seed. You are going to reap the harvest.
Thank you so much for that answer. I think I get the hang of it. And one thing I want to add is that for building your finances as well, what volunteering teaches you is growth, is experience. You know, obviously, that because you are spending money to get this experience, get this knowledge, you are also looking for ways to build your finances to engage in um, learning how to acquire like income, acquire wealth, how to sell. Imagine you are in a volunteer group and you have been tasked to get 100 people to come for an event or something. You're simply learning sales that way, whether you like it or not. And then imagine you are now a salesperson from that. You're building your career from there. You're having to, you can say, I've done this when I volunteered. I can do this for you. You don't even need to mention that you volunteered or not. You have done this before and it has brought results. And then from there, you can make something out of it. Our last question here says, how can I get over feeling like volunteer work is not actual work? Before Prosperity answers that, I'm not sure I know what that means, because if you are really doing volunteer work, there's nothing different in volunteer work and actual work. In fact, what should be different is that you should, as I mentioned, sometimes I give more to my volunteer work than my actual work. Sometimes. Prosperity, that question goes to you. How can I get over feeling like my volunteer work is not actual work? Yeah.
Well, the answer is simple now. Get over it. Just know now, volunteer work is actual work. So there's nothing special. You just have to realize it, right? You there's no difference, right? In fact, like you said, many times it will likely even engage you more than your normal work, right? So I would say the other thing is just the level of your commitment. Probably you are not well committed in where you are volunteering. That's why it's seeming to you like it's not actual work. But of course, that's also an initiative. It also has a goal. It has a vision. That's where it's going to. Of course. So it's actual work, but you are the one that is not giving yourself to it. So I think that's just an indicator. It's showing you that there's a problem somewhere. So
Mm,
that's just what you need to address. So the answer is simple. Get over it. It's actual work, but you need to give yourself more.
Thank you so much for that, Prosperity. As you mentioned, you said it's an indicator, and as I mentioned earlier, as we both mentioned earlier, don't commit to what does not align to your vision. Don't commit to what you don't love. You are going to do this thing for free and to take your time, even almost more than your office or your actual work or whatever it is. So commit to something that you can die for, and that's the essence of purpose. And you will not die. Trust me, nobody has died. Commit to something that you can die for. So you would have every reason, as he has mentioned. Once you are feeling that way, just that's evaluate yourself and see it through. That is this something that I actually should be doing? Is this something that I want to do? And yeah, thank you so much for everything you have mentioned today. It was such an insightful session. We hope that we'll have some partnerships to do with TEDx Jibowu. We'll discuss that. But Purpose Conference is, I'm sure you have been speaking to my founder. Is Purpose Conference is an initiative, is a conference, it's a community where we are trying to bring this kind of knowledge to the younger ones. We have programs that we go to our schools for outreach to do. We have programs because in fact, we should do something around not calling purpose in itself, because it's a very essential thing that people tend to miss. And after a while in their life, they start realizing they need to go back to, they start going back to what they should have understood clarity for. You mentioned that after the first rejection you got, you reflected, you needed to understand a couple of things, you needed to get clarity on a couple of things. And this is what we are trying to bring to the younger generations, the very young ones, very, very early. We are trying to, who says you cannot understand clarity very, very young. We had a conference where after that conference, a very young girl in her school, she was an orphan, and after the conference, from what she learned, she started in a strategic way. She was making money to pay off her school fees from the school, from what she had learned. And from that's a very fantastic, like Jesus 3 or Jesus 2. And that's a very fantastic testimony for what we are trying to do. So thank you so much for your time, Prosperity. We genuinely appreciate, and we hope that we'll be catching up soon. We have obviously be having physical interactions very soon. And to our audience, we have a form for you in the comment section. This is just to get to understand how these sessions has blessed you, and also to get us in the community where we'll be having more sessions like this, so we can just share every of those details. Thank you so much, Prosperity, and we'll be reaching out to you in another time. Bye.